I went to school in Vermont, and then at Castleton, and then we had Long Trail Brewing Company, which is just outside of Rutland, a town called Bridgewater. This is 1989, 1990, so the craft beer movement was just starting to get its wheels. I fell in love with the beer. I was under 21. All my housemates were over 21. So they'd buy me beer and and I'd stay at home while they went to the bars. One night I got bitter, and you don't have to be 21 to buy a beer kit. So I bought my first beer kit. It was liquid malt extract or something, and it turned out okay. And that's the bug. I got bit by that bug. Hi to Mom and Dad. St. Michael's wasn't even on the map for us. It was just a stop to say hi. And I ran into Mark Eman, who is one of the owners of St. Michael's Winery. Or I think he is the owner right now. There was two owners at the time. Anyway, he was an owner, and it seemed perfect at that time. Then I met the landlord here, who is Tad DuPont, and a good friend, log canoe racer. I competed against him on the log canoes, and nothing had been in this building for a really long time. The brewing side, there was a boat designer in this portion of the building, but the buildings weren't joined at that point. No electric, no plumbing, no sewer, any of that. And we shook hands. He gave me the key and said, "I'm not going to charge you rent until you serve your first beer." So, year and a half later, my wife and I did all of the work, putting sewer lines in, all the electric, all the plumbing. And at that point, this tasting room, we've only been in this portion of the brewery for maybe 4 years. The tasting room was down where the fermenter room is now, so we've expanded numerous times now. I think we're right around 300% larger than what we started as. So we did have some investors, no angels, but we did have some investors that were lined up that were interested, and we were interested, but everybody wanted something a little different. One person wanted to look at it as just a loan, another one wanted to name some beers, another one wanted to help brew, and it was too messy for us. So we put our house up on the market, sold our house, moved in with my mom and dad. Let me preface that we moved in with my mom and dad with a newborn, a 200-pound St. Bernard, and a 170-pound Shiloh Shepherd. God bless them. I guess I'd like to say I'm kind of old for the industry right now. A lot of the breweries that are around, they call me the old man at a couple of the other breweries. I don't have full sleeve tattoos or skinny jeans or whatever. It's I'm a little traditional. You can tell by the beers. I would have been a little bit more diligent on the manufacturing side. When we opened up, we were the 13th brewery in the state at the time. The wealth of knowledge was not huge. Once again, it was tough to go out. There was one brewing school that you could go to. And I didn't have time to go for a 6-month brew school. And translating home brewing into a manufacturing environment doesn't equate that way. So when I was brewing it, my beers were very, our first year or two, beers were very inconsistent. And I'm humbled by it. And we peeled back a little bit, we retooled, went out and actually hired, schooled brewmasters, tweaked our recipes, and now we've got, over the last 6 years, we've won 25 state awards. So we're crushing it. We're having a great time now. But that was being very egotistical about the product and not wanting to see the inconsistencies all the time was tough. I had the blinders on, and I would have changed that. I think that's probably the thing that I'd change. And probably about 4 years ago is when it got to that point. And, I could sleep at night. It wasn't, I'm not losing sleep. Staff has been, I hired a general manager, Jay Hudson, who is phenomenal, and he brought a whole different dynamic to the tasting room and the aspect of sales out in the market. He's got a really creative mind, so that helped me, and it also, I wasn't doing everything at that point also. I could rely on him for some things, and it freed me up to do more of the business side. Being a business owner, looking at cost of goods sold and what items we need to sell more of and stuff like that. So that was a big help for us. I think the bubble's going to burst, or maybe not burst, but it's going to retract a little bit. We don't do any packaged beer out in the market, so we just do draft beer out in the market. It's really hard to get draft handles, but I don't have to fight for cooler shelf space in the liquor stores and the grocery stores. Now and that's one thing that's happening right now. Liquor stores only have so much, beer stores only have so much refrigeration space. So there's breweries in the state that can't even get into certain liquor stores because the liquor stores just don't have the spots for them. So that's a fight that you're seeing happening right now. You see it, it's always been like that with the draft.
Always been like that with the draft?
Yeah, draft is pretty tough. When we opened up, there were a lot of restaurants. Once again, the craft beer industry wasn't where it is right now. You would get restaurants that would keep you on year round and never rotated their beers. Now we have those, but it's much more common now at very craft brew centric bars and restaurants to have rotating taps all the time. They'll probably have a core couple that they keep, but they're always rotating. So you're always getting on a place that you might have got on for 3 months in a whack. Now you're getting on once a month or something along those, which is fine. Sharing the love, it's great. There's lots of great breweries out there too, which is fun. What's happening with the area and the amount of breweries that are here, and in the state, and other breweries in other states distributing here, we have increased models that we do with our distributors. Now we're distributed through the entire state except for downtown Maryland, and then we also go to DC for draft. But right now, because of the super competitive nature, we only look at these mild increases for out in the market, and we're focused on the tasting room. So this year is the tasting room year. Next year will be a wholesale year.